you get to Planet E. Now, I know it doesn't show anymore, but at one time I had glorious hair, glorious long hair. And Aquanet, right, in the 80s, the hairspray. I didn't use it because my hair wasn't as glorious yet in the 80s. It took a little while. But the 80s to me in Aquanet was always this thing of like your hair, just big poofy hairstyles that were solid as rocks, right? The ultimate adhesion mechanism. So they go off to Planet E to grab this because you need something to like seal things, lock it in, right? This was before Flex Seal came out. You use Aquanet. So they grow in these canisters, like these rock canisters, and that's where all the fluid comes from. And they've got these little tufts of hair comb plants that grow on this planet for Planet E, and the Aquanetium atom is what this one is. And because Marvin is trying to figure out how to get this stuff out, he hits the button which sprays, right, and just so like Gossamer, who is all hair, is just blown back, stuck in a thing. Marvin's brush all stuck. The easiest way to get that, Bugs just comes right in with his pick comb. It's not going to go through anything. It's going to stick, and off he goes. He can thwart the theft right there. So we launched Conquer Earth last year in September, and then wrap it up. It'll all be wrapped up by the end of this year. So this will be kind of like a year-long thing to wrap up all 26 covers plus all the pieces and everything that goes with it. All of this is exclusively available with the Chuck Jones Gallery. So everything that's created for this, all of it, whether you have a consultant, if you're looking to reach out, chuckjonescatalog.com. It has the Conquer Earth series. It's its own little section on there. And that's where you can view and partake in anything. They've got 2 different sets. So all of them are in limiteds as well. And there's a paper version of one. So you can get a planet size in this, or right over there is the canvas size of the limiteds, which are full size on 12 by 18s, whereas these guys right here, I believe, are 10 or 8 by 10, I think is what they are. So there's different ways to collect, whether it's an original or maybe you want your initials or something and you collect them in a limited after the fact. And by the way, there's one additional thing. So on the canvas, on the giclées of the covers, which the color jumps, I'm stoked about how these turned out. If you get one of the canvas size, which again is real size to the actual production, the originals that I did, on the back is a full-size character. So I sketch on the back of all of them a full-size character. Right now it's Marvin, as we do a Steampunk Marvin, but there's an original sketch on the back of every single giclée version of the planet covers. I'd say that it's probably, this project has pushed me to write more things, right? Everything's intentional. And when you're doing a piece and, say you're doing a painting of something, or maybe you have a series of a couple of, scenes or something that you're putting together and they have a meaning, to do 26 plus all the stuff that goes along with it has been an absolute blast and creatively pushed me into thinking bigger on something and how to wrap a storyline around. And which is why I'm stoked about this. For one, that the gallery's letting me do it. And when I pitched it, they weren't like, you're insane, and maybe we should wait till later, but just, yes, that sounds hilarious. We're not quite, how's that going to come out? And then when I show, like a little bit more of the progress, like, but they bought in from the beginning, which is why I got the chance to do it. So I'm stoked about this. As each cover comes out, there's influences from comics. So like different comic covers, different, layout styles. I've got a Hulk reference in the Planet Eye. There's a Thor reference coming up in a planet that might have one of my initials in it, stuff like that. So I'm stoked to be able to pour myself into this series and then watch how it comes out. And I've loved everybody's reaction to this. There's custom pins that go along. So in a part of not only collecting the pieces, depending on which you get, an original, a limited, whether it's the giclée or the limited edition print, I did pins of all the hats and helmets. So there's one, I've got canines over here too, all 7. So all 7 come in a pin, right? And the collector pins are available with the Conquer Earth series. So anybody that picks up, depending on which kind they pick up, there's how many pins do you get with one, choose your own pins kind of stuff. And I love pins. I love collector pins. I'm I'll put them everywhere, right? So I wanted to do something as a fan myself of doing these things. They're like, what would I want if I got something like this? If there was a series, like, what would I want? I want a pin. That's cool to me. And the reaction I've gotten from people is phenomenal. So collector pins, collector things, this whole idea of this art of book afterwards. And then I do believe that the paper versions of these, when you get these there's a collector box we're working on and how that comes together in a portfolio. So that's exciting as well. I've had the question of, is there more in-depth to the planets? Is there more coming with steampunk stuff after, whether it's after the series? And the answer is yes. I plan on exploring more with this. It's been a big hit. I think almost all of the pieces so far, the originals are collected, and then they've got APs and signed numbers that have been flying out the door. So there's a storyline behind all this, and it's in that homage of Chuck's storytelling, right? And I don't want to just do a piece to do a piece. So there's more coming, and how this wraps out once this series wraps, and then how in depth into a little bit more into why in that planet and what's going on there. And then after that, how many other characters we have? Quite a few. What could happen? All kinds of things. So more to come from the Steampunk series. If you're geeking out on any of this stuff, which I geek out on, and it's something that you want to pick up, I will tell you that originals go like that. So the originals are you're fast on the hit. Usually people are wanting their initials or something like that, a letter that's dear to them, or maybe it's a subject matter. So if you're looking for that, get a hold of your consultant before as things start to launch. And then the limiteds for both go fast as well. So it's kind of one of those things that if you find the letter combinations that you like, or something that appeals to you, hop on it with the gallery. And that's all at chuckjonescatalog.com, that you can see all of the current releases, and then get a hold of your consultants, as they will be able to help fulfill that for you. And then all the little perks and stuff that come with it. And again, my name is Ben Olson. I am an artist with the Chuck Jones Gallery. I am a fellow nerd and purveyor of all these wonderful things, Chuck Jones, and just so grateful to be a part of this whole show.